St. Anselm has had every major presidential candidate since 1960 on our campus. And since 1984, we've hosted national debates on campus. And so if you think about students coming here, it gives them such a great experience to work with either a candidate, a national news organization, a marketing firm.
The New Hampshire Institute of Politics really is a nonpartisan location. The argument is good in democracy, and we get to see that here. And so having Democrats and Republicans and other members of other parties here is something that we want to hear from. St. Anselm College really is at the center of the universe for politics nationally. And our students get to experience this, not just in the presidential election, but in all 4 years that lead up to it.
St. Anselm was the best decision I made ever in my lifetime because there was unlimited opportunities. Just recently, I landed on the 2024 campaign trail where I cover all Republican hopefuls. It is my dream job, and I wouldn't have the opportunities on the campaign trail unless I attended St. Anselm College.
The whole political scene here has led to some amazing careers for our students.
Imagine earning a world-class education on a beautiful and accessible campus in the world's most exciting city. Not only does CSI offer a magnificent campus atmosphere, the College of Staten Island excels in dynamic student life, outstanding academics, new high-end apartment-style living, and a dedicated, award-winning faculty.
Good evening and welcome to the WPI Sports and Recreation Center for the 2024-25 Northeast 10 Swim and Diving Championships. Alongside Nicole Miller on production tonight, Jonah Carter on camera. I am Jeremy Abreu, and you're watching the NE10 now on Flow Sports, brought to you by Abreu Media Productions. Well, it's been a long season of swim, and it all culminates this weekend, goes down here at WPI. We are really excited to be bringing you all of the action here this weekend. A lot of things have gone on since the last time we've met, or the last time we've spoken last year. The Northeast 10 Conference announced back in November that the University of Bridgeport and Felician University will be joining the conference as associate members in the sports of men and women swimming and diving over the course of the 24-25, 25 and 26 season. So for the first time tonight and this weekend, you'll be seeing the Felician women's swimming and diving program. They'll be competing here at these NE10 championships, while the men's program joins us for the 2026 championships next year. Both the Bridgeport programs will begin Northeast 10 competition at the 2026 championship. So that is definitely very exciting. One of the other possibly exciting things is, could we see history at WPI here this weekend? And if you pay attention to the Northeast 10 coaches poll that's done annually before the championship, the coaches selected the men's program from Adelphi to win the conference championship. In conference on the men's side, and of course on the women's side, Southern Connecticut. This would make history because in conference history, only two teams
Staten Island timer
have won the Northeast 10 Swimming and Diving Championship on the men's and women's sides. For the men, the only winners have been Southern Connecticut State and Bentley. And on the women's side, Bentley and Southern Connecticut State and Assumption. Now, to dive into that just a little bit further, Southern Connecticut has 16 titles on both the men's and the women's side. Bentley has 4 titles on the men's side, and Assumption has 4 titles on the women's side. So since the advent of the Northeast 10 in 2003, 2004, it has been absolutely dominated by Southern Connecticut. As a matter of fact, on the women's side, you have to go back to the 2018-19 pre-COVID Northeast 10 championship for a women's champion to be someone other than Southern Connecticut. And you have to go back pre-COVID 2019-20 men's championship before you found a team besides Southern Connecticut, and that was Bentley. So should be really exciting this weekend. I think the question for Adelphi is, do they have the depth? Do they have the depth on the men's side to match Southern Connecticut, who is obviously one of the favorites besides Bentley as well? Bentley and Southern Connecticut both were tied for second in the men's poll. On the women's side, it was Southern Connecticut, with Bentley finishing second, getting 3 first place votes. Felician, who is competing in the Northeast 10 for the first time this season, was selected 4th in the poll. So that sets the stage for the team perspective. Now we're going to talk about some of the swimmers to watch here. There's a big list. This is an incomplete listing of swimmers just to watch based on their regular season performance. We'll start off with Amelia Mayers from Felician. As we just talked about, Felician competing in the Northeast 10 for the first time this season. Mayers has been one of the standouts for the Golden Falcons, holding the top times in the league in the 50 free, 100 free, and 200 free. So I'll have to keep an eye on her. Eugenia Morosi from Pace. She's made quite the impact, debuting in New York as one of the Northeast 10's top backstrokers. She posted the league's top times in the 100 and 200 backstroke, and her 200 time is 7 seconds better than the next closest mark. Shifting gears over to diving, Hilla Almog from Bentley. That's a name you should all be familiar with. The #1 ranked diver in Division II. Almog is the defending NE10 champion from both the 1 and 3 meter and qualified for NCAA's last year. The senior was named NE10 Diver of the Week for every week in which she competed this season. So think about that, folks. Every week that Hilla Almog competed, she was the Diver of the Week in the conference. That's just an amazing, amazing accomplishment. Sticking with diving for a minute, Jordan Swanson from Staten Island, an NCAA championship competitor last year. Swanson set the CSI program record in the 1 meter dive to close out the 2025 regular season. She returns to the NE10 championship after finishing as a runner-up to Bentley's Almog a year ago. So keep an eye on both of them. Will Swanson have what it takes to get over that proverbial hump and take out Almog? It's going to be tough. 2 very amazing divers. Getting back into swimming, Justice Glasgow from SCSU, an All-American butterfly swimmer for the Owls. Glasgow has the top time in the NE10 this season in the 100 fly by 2 seconds. Leighton Will Kaczynski from Bentley, one of the best distance swimmers in the NE10. Will Kaczynski has the top mile time in the conference and ranks 2nd in the 1,000. Lucas Hayes, St. Michael's, one of the more decorated rookies in the NE10 this season. Hayes has the top 1,000 free time in the conference. He's 2nd in the 500 free and 4th in the 200 free, and will look to represent the Purple Knights proudly in the distance events. Another name that you're very familiar with, McAllister Milne from Southern Connecticut State University. He was the 2023 Conference Swimmer of the Year and the 2023 NE10 Championship Swimmer of the Meet. Milne has received multiple conference weekly honors this year. The Owl ranks among the top 3 at various distances in the NE10 in the free, breast, fly, and individual medley. Moving on, Molly Kennedy, last year's Northeast 10 Co-Rookie of the Year. Kennedy enters the postseason, having won the NE10 Swimmer of the Week 3 straight times. Kennedy is one of the best freestyle swimmers in the conference, ranking in the top 3 in the 50, 100, and 200 freestyle races this year. Moving on to Felician once again, Rachel Omarui A freshman from Sweden, Almarui, claimed the NE10 Rookie of the Week the first time a Golden Falcon was eligible for the award. So that's pretty cool. Almarui enters the postseason with the number one time in the NE10 in the 500 and the 1650 free, a wide open race. Now with the graduation of Bentley's Emma Hapkowitz, the 24 NE10 swimmer of the championship. Skylar Lang from Bentley, the 2024 NE10 Co-Rookie of the Year. Lang holds the best times in the league this season in the 100, 200, and 400 IM. She's also a lead in the breaststroke, holding the best performance in the 50, 100, and 200 this year across the league. Moving on to Assumption, Sophia Lake ranks second in the NE10 in the 100 and 200 breaststroke, trailing only Bentley's Lang. Lake is a one-time NE10 Rookie of the Week this winter. Tristan Weingarten from Adelphi, an NE10 Freshman of the Week this season. Weingarten holds the top times in the league in the 100 free, 2 free, 500 free, and 100 fly. Valerie Pedoretsky from Adelphi, he's a hotshot freshman, helped Adelphi to an undefeated dual meet season this year. The only swimmer in the league this season to go sub-21 in the 50 free, and he ranked second in the 100 free, third in the 100 fly. So he's going to be one to watch. Adelphi also touts the second and third ranked swimmers in the 50 free, and Eric Slavin and Tristan Weingarten, who we talked about earlier. And finally from Staten Island, Yubal Para. Para recently set the 11 dive 1 meter record at Staten Island at 533.90 points. The performance qualified him for NCAA Nationals in just his third appearance of the year. So we're clocking in right now at 5:56. We are almost getting ready to go. We're going to take a quick break before we return for our first event of the evening, which will be the women's 800-yard freestyle relay. You're watching NE10 now on Flow Sports, brought to you by Abreu Media Productions.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The NE10 welcomes you to the WPI Sports and Recreation Center for our first evening.
We're going to come right back.
Competition at your 2025 NE10 Swimming and Diving Conference Championships. The Northeast 10 promotes good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators. We request your cooperation by supporting the participants and officials in a positive manner. Profanity, racial comments, homophobic, transphobic, or sexist comments directed at officials, student athletes, coaches, or team representatives will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal from the site of competition. The Northeast 10 Conference pledges to support people of marginalized races and actively combat racism in thought, words, and action. We understand that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere, and seeking a more just and compassionate world, we must think, act, and lead as one. Together we are stronger. Our voices will be heard, and we encourage you to stand with us in combating racism. We thank you. The officials for our conference championships: Mike Huffman, Bill Repass, Kelly Vaughn, Kamanli Conliff, Robert Glass, and Jim Coleman. The events this evening will be the 800-yard freestyle relay, men's 1 meter diving prelims, and the 1,000-yard freestyle. And again, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask everyone to please rise and remove your hats to honor America and those who support our freedom at home and abroad with the playing of our national anthem.
All right, so we are just about ready to go here, starting off with the women's 800 freestyle relay. We'll see if we got our graphics ready to go. So they haven't reset our graphics yet. We will get that. We will have those online shortly. Our lane assignments, lane 3, Assumption B, lane 4, Delphi B, lane 5. There we go. There are our lane assignments. That is Matt Loprino. He's the public address announcer here for the Northeast 10. And we are ready to rock, folks. We'll get you the swimmers that are comprised of all of these teams. We do have the names for all of the relay swimmers as they get on the blocks, and we are ready to rock and roll here in the Northeast 10 Championships. Off and running we go. Swimming in lane number 3 for Assumption B, it's Cuniff, Johnson, Downer, and Cates. In lane 4 for Adelphi B, it's Noel, Boyer, Zunich, and Brulinski. Swimming in lane 5 for Southern Connecticut State B, Wire, Ducharme, Peach, and McNeil. In lane 6 for Felician, it's Kaufman, Lucic, Hopi, and Nuino Galan. Swimming in lane 7 for Bentley B, it's Capria, Keegan, Schwacky, and Walker. Swimming in lane 8 for Pace B, it's Klein, Steen, Vincent, and Twist. And rounding out the field in lane number 9, St. Michael's B, Bowden, Rocha, Mongeli, and Zambo. Right now, it's looking like Bentley has the lead. Capria going out strong. That's just what you want to see in the 800 relay. If you're one of the second, third, or fourth leg swimmer, you want to get in the water ideally with the lead. You don't want to have to try and come from behind. And Capria doing a really good job of building that lead for Bentley B there in lane 7. Out in a 56.93 after a fastest in the field, 27.37 through her first 50. Southern Connecticut State right there, though. Half a second behind right now. Felician 2.25 seconds behind. Capria from Bentley in 7. Ware from Southern Connecticut State in lane 5. And it looks like Ware may have now taken over the lead. So here we go. We got some fireworks here right in the beginning in Southern Connecticut State. What a good last 50 there by Ware. She'll hand it over to Ducharme. Let's watch the transition. It is clean. And Ware puts Southern Connecticut State into the lead. 0.7 of a second ahead of Bentley. 3.25 seconds ahead of Felician. It's always interesting to watch those transitions. The outgoing swimmer has to maintain contact with the block, even if it's by a toe, until the incoming swimmer touches the wall. In relays, that's where you see the most disqualifications are in the transition. So there were no we didn't see anything that looked crazy there during that first transition. Southern Connecticut leading the way. That's Ducharme in the water for Southern Connecticut. Continuing to build that lead over Bentley in lane 7. That lead is now 3 seconds. So Felician starting to catch up now on Bentley. Check out that battle in the middle of the pool. Lucic in the water for Felician in lane 6. Green cap going from left to right. Stroke for stroke with Keegan from Bentley. $50 more to go for Ducharme. Then she'll hand it off to Piche. And Southern Connecticut really showing their strength right now in this 800 free relay, building that lead up to almost 4.5 seconds. And don't look now, but Lucic from Felician may have taken over second place. It's really close. She's stroke for stroke with Keegan in lane 7, so that's one to keep an eye on. Keegan looks like now she's pulled her head ever so slightly. Ducharme will hand it off to Piche. That transition is complete. Keegan to Schwacky, Lucic to Hope. Abby Piche leading the way for Southern Connecticut State. The Owls projected to win their 17th Northeast 10 Conference Championship. We'll see what happens. That's why they swim the meet. On any given day, we'll see this weekend what comes to fruition. But right now, Piche looking strong. And here comes Hope from Felician. So Felician is now pulled into a clear second. Continuing to look really strong. Piche looking good to keep Southern Connecticut in the lead. Southern Connecticut still rocking Abby Piche. She's got another 50 to go before she hands it off to McNeil. Southern Connecticut holding on to that lead. Felician in second. Emily Hopi swimming a great leg here for Felician. They've really pulled away into second. Piche will hand it off to McNeil for the Owls. Hopi will hand it off to Nuino Galen. Salma Nuino Galen. She's a graduating senior, transferred into the program as a sophomore. So she's tasked with not only keeping Felician in second here, but who knows, maybe pulling off the historic comeback, although McNeil's going to be very, very tough to beat here as we approach the 675-yard mark. Hasn't been any change since the 450-yard mark as Southern Connecticut State leads the way, followed by Felician. Pace in third, Adelphi in fourth, St. Michael's in fifth, Bentley B in sixth, Assumption B in seventh. So Bentley had that really strong start. Fell off a little bit. Pace picking it up here at the end in lane 8. But this one looks like it's going to be Southern Connecticut State and Felician 1 and 2. McNeil will come in for that 750-yard turn. I'll tell you, the crowd is pretty wild here. If you can hear them, we're not at capacity, but we have a very good crowd here for a Thursday evening in Worcester, Massachusetts. McNeil will make her final turn. There's a good close-up of McNeil for the Owls, putting the finishing touches on this opening women's 800-yard free relay victory for the Owls in a time of 7:53:02. As we mentioned, Felician will take second, 8:05:14. And finishing third will be Bentley, who makes that come from behind, going from sixth up to third with Walker closing it out. Pace will finish fourth, Adelphi fifth, St. Michael's sixth, and Assumption will finish seventh. So good start to our evening here as we get ready to move to Heat 2. There's our winners, Southern Connecticut State B, 7:53.02. The team of Weir, Ducharme, Piche, and McNeil. There are your full results here at WPI. As we get ready to move to heat number 2, we'll get you that start list for heat number 2. This is our A heat. You'll find Assumption in lane 3, Adelphi in 4, Bentley in 5, Felician in 6, Southern Connecticut State in 7, Pace in 8, St. Michael's in 9, College of Staten Island in 10. We will go down to our public address announcer, Matt Loprino.
And swimming in Heat 2 this evening. In lane 3, Assumption University. In lane 4, Adelphi University. In lane 5, Bentley University. In lane 6, Felician University. In lane 7, Southern Connecticut. In lane 8, Pace University. In lane 9, St. Michael's College. And in lane 10, College of Staten Island. Heat 2, women.
So there are your lane assignments. We are ready to go here. Heat 2. Felician comes in with the top time. The team of Mayers, Higgs, Omaruri, and Hummels. Mayers will lead it off for Felician. It is Molly Kennedy, though, right now out leading the way for Southern Connecticut State in lane 7. She's one of the top swimmers to watch here. Staten Island up in lane 10, leading off with Johnson near the top. And we talked about Felician University, Katinka Mayers from Barbados. So at Felician University by way of Barbados here. That lead for Southern Connecticut State, 2.5. Amelia Mayers earned her first NCAA provisional cut in the 100 freestyle this season. So exciting for her, but right now it is all Molly Kennedy as she started to really pull away here. We talked about this at the top of the broadcast. If you're a relay swimmer on the second leg, third leg, fourth leg, you're just standing there watching, and when you see your teammate who leads it off get out to a commanding lead like Kennedy, really starts to build that confidence, takes a little bit of the pressure off, which is one of the more important things, as any swimmer knows. Kennedy will hand it off to Arturi. Let's watch this transition. It will be clean. Arturi in the water. Kennedy does her job. Pace in second, Adelphi third. So your top three teams separated by 4 seconds right now. Felician has dropped down to fifth. Bentley A with Grace Motisi in the water right now in lane 5. But it is all Ariana Arturi, the senior, rocking and rolling here for Southern Connecticut. Big contingent here from Southern Connecticut, as there is every year. That trek from Connecticut to Worcester, pretty easy to do, so they come in droves to cheer on their Owls. And their Owls are out to a really good start here. Arturi building that lead just under 5 seconds. So Arturi got into the water with a 3.5 second lead. She's built that lead up to almost 5 seconds, and you can see the distance that she has put in between her and Adelphi, Bentley, Felician, and Pace up there in lane 8. As we start to look ahead, Arturi will hand it off to Castillo. Paula Castillo, the junior, she will be next in line here for the Owls. Looking to hold on to that lead, which I think is going to be 5+ seconds. Good transition there. Lead actually maybe 7 or 8 seconds. It's almost 7 seconds now over Bentley. So Bentley moves up from 4th into 2nd. Felician currently running in 3rd, but right now it is all Owls. Southern Connecticut State in lane 7. Paulo Castillo in the water, looking strong. Skyla Lang making a little bit of a comeback here for Bentley. They moved up into 2nd place at the 350-yard mark. They're in lane 5. Dark cap, white B. Lang now going from right to left. We'll get a time check in here at the 500-yard mark. Southern still holding on to that lead. It's still over 6 seconds over Bentley, so Bentley has cut into that lead a bit. About 0.8 of a second over that last 50, but 6 seconds behind. Castillo's got 50 to go. She'll hand it over to Brooke Keeney, the senior. Lots of experience and tenure on this Southern Connecticut State team. These men and women swimmers, they know how to win. They've done it before. The lights are never too bright for Southern Connecticut State here at these Northeast 10 championships. As Brooke Keeney waits to enter the water as the anchor leg. It is a clean transition. Bentley has cut into the lead. It is now a little bit under 6 seconds. Jordan Nusback for Bentley. Brooke Keeney for Southern Connecticut State. Umels from Felician. Really starting to put some pressure on Nusback here. Southern still in control. Katinka Hummels has now caught up with Nusback in lane 5. Hummels, a graduating senior and a team captain. So the open and meet record 7:34.90. 50 to go for Southern Connecticut State. Good leg here by Brooke Keeney. Bentley and Felician still battling, but right now it is Bentley with that half a body length lead with a little over 25 yards to go. But sprinting toward the finish with about 10 yards to go, it will be Brooke Keeney and the Southern Connecticut State Owls taking heat number 2. Just off that record. Bentley will take second, 7:43.89. Felician takes third, 7:44.98. So nice swim by Southern Connecticut State there. The team of Kennedy, Arturi, Castillo, and Keeney getting it done here in our second heat of the women's 800 free relay. College of Staten Island will finish up here. See if they can drop some time. They came in with an 8:36.40, so they're going to drop some time here. Nice showing by the College of Staten Island up there in lane 10. There are your winners from Southern Connecticut State. A big group hug there. 7:36.90. Bentley took second. Felician takes third. Those are your full results. As we move on to event number 2, there's the start list for the men's 800-yard freestyle relay. Where you'll find Assumption in lane 3, St. Michael's in 4, Southern Connecticut State in 5, Bentley in 6, Adelphi in 7, College of Staten Island in lane 8, and Pace in lane 9. Lane 10 is open, so no one in lane 10. We're using lanes 3 through 10 here this weekend at WPI. A snow-covered grounds here in Worcester, Massachusetts. We're expecting some more snow Saturday night to Sunday, so keep an eye on that forecast. Tell you, we had a very clear November, December, even January. Then the weather came. Here we go, folks. This is event 2, Heat 1, men's 800 free relay. Look like a good, clean start. Assumption in lane 3 will send Curry, Keenan, Barton, and Brewer. St. Michael's in lane 4 will send Volker, Daly, Rechel, and Alexander. Southern Connecticut State in lane 5 will send Fry, Velasquez, Roney, and Janney. Bentley in lane 6, Kelleher, Meekins, Tarker, and Marzano. Adelphi in lane 6, Chioto, Upchurch, Fonseca, and Singer. College of Staten Island, Radov, Hussein, Cap, and Yost. And Pace in lane 9, Breeden, Insucho, Villanueva, and Purcell. Bentley leading the way right now with Kelleher, followed closely by Fry from Southern Connecticut State. Jake Chioto from Adelphi led it off for their entry in lane 7, currently sitting in 3rd. Top 3 teams fairly close here. One of the things that you'll see with each of these swimmers swimming in 200, this is a full sprint. Back in the day, this was not a quote-unquote sprinters event. This is now a sprinting event at 200 freestyle. It has transformed over the years. No more a quote-unquote mid-distance event. Full-on sprint here. As Southern will be first to put their second swimmer in the water. That's Velasquez. Bentley 8/10 behind. Adelphi a second and a quarter behind. Meekins in the water for Bentley, Upchurch for Adelphi. Those are your top three teams. And you've already seen Meekins now. Look at this first 50. Blazing 50 for Meekins there. 22:48 as he puts Bentley into the lead in lane 6. Top three teams going from left to right on your screen. Meekins is the first to make that turn at the 275-yard mark. Kelleher led Bentley off with a 49.51, the only sub-50 in the field. What does Meekins do? He follows that up with a 22.48 and a 26.6. Here comes Upchurch from Bentley in Adelphi, in lane 7. Velasquez, Meekins, and Upchurch all stroke for stroke in the middle of your pool. You want to see where the leaders are. Check lanes 5, 6, and 7, folks. The Owls, the Falcons, and the Panthers. Lanes 5, 6, and 7. Meekins getting a little tired here. Starting to fall back a bit. Upchurch from Adelphi will hand it off to Fonseca. And it will be Adelphi first in the water with their third leg swimmer. Adelphi coming off a undefeated dual meet season, predicted by many to get their first conference championship here this weekend in Worcester. We shall see. Here comes Roney for Southern Connecticut State. Tarka in the water for Bentley, but it remains Adelphi B leading the way. A second and a quarter ahead of Southern Connecticut State, a little under a second and a half ahead of Bentley. As we look toward our anchors, Janney for Southern Connecticut, Marzano for Bentley, Singer for Adelphi. $50 to go with these third leg swimmers, and it is Adelphi. Fonseca maintaining that lead by the slimmest, and I mean slimmest of margins. Tarka from Bentley right there. They'll go stroke for stroke into their final wall. Bentley now taking over the lead. Bentley's Tarka in lane 6, leading the way. Here comes Roney from Southern Connecticut. Again, to reset the relay anchors, Janney for Southern, Marzano for Bentley, Singer for Adelphi, and it is going to be Janney from Southern in the water first, followed by Bentley and Adelphi. Right now, Janney for Southern Connecticut leading the way, but here comes Marzano from Bentley. This is going to be a very, very interesting final 150 yards here, folks. Top three teams, Southern, Bentley, and Adelphi, separated by under 1 second. They're in lanes 5, 6, and 7. Southern's got the white cap going from right to left right now. Bentley and Adelphi with their dark colored caps. Seems like there's a new leader every 25. Let's see if Southern's still in the lead. No, it's Bentley. Marzano. To the naked eye, though, it is Singer in lane 7 for Adelphi. Looks like he's getting stronger here as he approaches 75 yards to go. So Singer for Adelphi has put them in the lead. 50 yards to go. Can Adelphi hold on here, or will Bentley or Southern Connecticut State make the 50-yard comeback? Singer's stroke getting a little slower here as fatigue starts to set lane 7. That is Singer who will bring it home for them. Bentley and Southern battling stroke for second. I think it will be Bentley. Adelphi takes it. Bentley second. Southern takes third. 7:02:37. The time for Adelphi, the team of Chioto, Upchurch, Fonseca, and Singer. Fourth place finish. Looks like it'll go to St. Michael's in lane 4. Assumption still in the water. St. Michael's takes fourth, 7:35:65. But it was a great swim from the Adelphi team of Chioto, Upchurch, Fonseca, and Singer. College of Staten Island will take fifth here. Sixth place looks like it will go to Pace in lane number 9. So there's our winner. Adelphi was your winner. Singer anchored. We'll go back to the action and we'll catch up with Assumption here. 150 yards to go for Assumption, but what a great swim right off the bat from Adelphi. They looked really strong. Jake Chioto setting the stage early, really kept them in it against some other strong swimmers as well. Upchurch brought them into second, then led them up into first, and Fonseca and Singer held off the rest of the field for a fairly convincing 2.5-second victory here in Heat 1 of the men's 800 free relay.
For the 800 free relay. Team from Adelphi in lane 7 takes Heat 1, time 7:02:37. Now let's welcome to the blocks Heat 2, your men's 800-yard freestyle relay. Swimming in Heat 2 of the men's 800-yard freestyle relay. Lane 3, Pace University. Lane 4, College of Staten Island. Lane 5, Southern Connecticut State University. Lane 6, Adelphi University. Lane 7, Bentley University. Lane 8, St. Michael's College. And in lane 9, Assumption University. Heat 2 with the men's 800-yard freestyle relay, Mr. Referee.
There are your lane assignments Adelphi, the only team coming in under 7 minutes, 6:51.72. They'll send Rivers, Thompson, Peteretsky, and Weingarten. We'll get you all of those swimmers once we get going here in heat number 2. Off and running in lane 3 for pace will be Firstler, Brace, Domenech, and Veldis. In lane 4 for the College of Staten Island, it will be Lopez, Kwan, Tartaglione, and Faingersh. In lane 5 from Southern Connecticut, it'll be Ladner, Fraser, Milne, and Kuhn. In lane 6 for the aforementioned Adelphi, Rivers, Thompson, Peteretsky, and Weingarten. In lane 7 from Bentley, Rakoff, Machuca, Wielgazinski, and Ivanchikov. In lane 8 from St. Michael's, Kerbach, Engelhart, Cole, and Hayes. And in lane 9 from Assumption, it will be Fallman, Heyer, Leary, and Hale. Southern Connecticut and Adelphi out to the fast starts. Ladner for Southern, Rivers for Adelphi, separated by 0.2 of a second, both sub 50, along with Rakoff from Bentley. Drew Ladner from Southern, Cooper Rivers from Adelphi. Southern with the lead. Ladner will hand it off to Fraser in lane 5. Rivers will hand it off to Thompson for Adelphi. They're separated by 0.3 of a second as the rest of the field now transitions into their second swimmers. Once again, if you're just joining us, we're at the WPI Sports and Rec Center. It's the 2025 Northeast 10 Men's and Women's Swimming and Diving Championships. You're watching NE10 now on Flow Sports, brought to you by Abreu Media Productions. We are in Event 2, Heat 2. It's the men's 800 free relay. And currently, Southern Connecticut State in lane 5 with Fraser in the water leads the field. It's Adelphi with Thompson in lane 6. Approaching the 325-yard mark. Fraser's got 50 to go, and he'll hand it off to McAllister Milne. You see Fraser is building that lead over Thompson. It's greater than a body length now. That lead is stretched out from 0.6 of a second to over a second and a half. Here comes the transition from Fraser to Milne. Adelphi 2.2 seconds behind. Bentley almost 7 seconds off the mark here. So this race has really, at this point, turned into Southern Connecticut versus Adelphi. But as we have seen in some of the previous relays, distance can be made up in a great, quickly amount of time, especially in an 800 free relay like we're in here. Peteretsky cuts that lead in half. It's only a second now. Yes. Milne for Southern Connecticut, Peteretsky for Adelphi. These third leg swimmers will make the turn with Southern Connecticut leading Adelphi by just under a second and a half. Southern in the white cap going from right to left right now. Adelphi in the dark cap going from right to left. Lanes 5 and 6, middle of your pool. Milne will hand over to Kuhn. And that was a good transition. So if you noticed on that transition, Kuhn started to anticipate when Milne was going to come in and touch that wall. Timed it absolutely perfectly to my eye. And Southern Connecticut builds the lead. Southern continues to maintain the lead in lane 5. This will be our final relay heat of the evening before we transition over to the 1,000. Franklin Kuhn really kicking it up a notch a bit for Southern Connecticut here. Weingarten for Adelphi in second. .50 to go for Southern Connecticut and Franklin Kuhn. 6:41 the meet record. That's safe here. That's not going to get broken tonight. But nevertheless, it will be the Owls from Southern Connecticut State taking heat number 2.
Great swims across the pool right there. Kicking off our swimming portion of the conference. The Adelphi in lane 7 finishing third, 6:56.71. Followed by Adelphi in lane 6, 6:49.50. Taking that event this evening, time 6:45.00. Team out of lane 5, Southern Connecticut. Now on our 30-minute break. We bring your attention to the diving well for women's 3-meter prelims this evening. Pool is open for the 30-minute break.
So folks, we will take this break with them. We do not. All of our diving coverage will be comprised of finals diving, but when we come back from the break, we will bring you some of the diving prelim coverage. It will be presented with no audio. You're watching NE10 now on Flow Sports, brought to you by Abreu Media Productions.
If you want to win in every arena of college life, go D2. Make it yours.
There is a power in you, just waiting to be tapped. A voice to be amplified. A vision to unlock. And the University of New Haven is ready to flip that switch. We are 9,000 makers, instigators, and doers. Here to make tomorrow happen, with market-ready programs to change your future, and a community of changemakers to take on the world. New Haven. Power on.
Balance. It isn't just essential in your sport, it's essential in life, especially college life. It's everything you need to thrive in school, in sport, and everything in between. The key is just finding a place where you can pursue it all, because the real beauty lies in the balance. If you want to win in every arena of college life, go D2. Make it yours.
Every college has a president, but only one college has had every United States president, and those who wanted to be president for the past 50 years. St. Anselm College, home of the New Hampshire Institute of Politics. Make history where history is being made every day. Visit anselm.edu.
We're really in a very historical school, and we really have to recognize, as students on this campus, the amount of sacrifice that has been bared for us to be able to receive education.
CUNY has really inspired me to think creatively and think differently about how it is we listen to one another. And so long term, my goal is to continue that pattern.
But I think I'd encourage students to attend CUNY because the faculty here is truly amazing.
St. Anselm has had every major presidential candidate since 1960 on our campus. And since 1984, we've hosted national debates on campus. And so if you think about students coming here, it gives them such a great experience to work with either a candidate, a national news organization, a marketing firm.
The New Hampshire Institute of Politics really is a nonpartisan location. The argument is good in democracy, and we get to see that here. And so having Democrats and Republicans and other members of other parties here is something that we want to hear from. St. Anselm College really is at the center of the universe for politics nationally. And our students get to experience this, not just in the presidential election, but in all 4 years that lead up to it.
St. Anselm was the best decision I made ever in my lifetime because there's unlimited opportunities. Just recently, I landed on the 2024 campaign trail where I cover all Republican hopefuls. It is my dream job, and I wouldn't have the opportunities on the campaign trail unless I attended St. Anselm College.
The whole political scene here has led to some amazing careers for our students.
Imagine earning a world-class education on a beautiful and accessible campus in the world's most exciting city. Not only does CSI offer a magnificent campus atmosphere, the College of Staten Island excels in dynamic student life, outstanding academics, new high-end apartment-style living, and a dedicated, award-winning faculty.
We are back at WPI as we prepare for the women's 1,000. This will be event 4, heat 1 of 4. There is your start list. We will have 4 heats on the women's side, 4 heats on the men's side. Lily Bluen from St. Michael's in 4, and Panus from Payson 5, Paulina Pereira from Payson 5, College of Staten Island's Katerina Serlin in 7, and from Payson lane number 8, Natalie Ramos Arcada rounds out the field. So there was a bit of a break there between the diving or the relays and the 1,000. I want to give these swimmers, a lot of them are swimming in relays, then they're turning around and need to swim the 1,000. On the other hand, you also have the swimmers who have not gotten a chance to really warm up for the 1,000. They have to sit through the relays, so the break was good and warranted, but now we are getting ready for that women's 1,000. Once again, WPI proving to be a great host. One of the busiest pools here in New England. Last week they hosted the Great Northeast Athletic Conference Championships. This week it's the Northeast 10. Next week it is the NUMAC. Sandwich that around some New England swimming age group championships as well as the New England YMCA championships. And this is a very busy pool from February through March. Lily Bluen from St. Michael's comes in with a time of 14:09.86. And Panus, 13:25.31. Paulina Pereira, 13:00.14. Katrina Serlin, 13:11.11. And Natalie Ramos Arcada, 13:52.92. Again, a lot has gone on in this Northeast 10 conference since last year. We mentioned at the top of the broadcast, Bridgeport and Felician, new associate members in swimming and diving, very similar to the arrangement that brings the College of Staten Island to the Northeast 10. The Felician women are competing here in this 24-25 championship. The other 3 programs, being the Felician men and the Bridgeport men and women, will start in 2026. As we continue to wait for all of the 1,000 swimmers to line up. Our number 1 seed is Taylor White, the junior from Bentley, 10:49.39. So we'll see her in the final heat, swimming in lane 6. Again, we mentioned WPI, Paul Bennett and his staff, Mark Wild, Maddie Blatz, do a great job, not only with their program, but also keeping up a facility and a pool to host these high caliber meets that we are running right now here with the Northeast 10. We're going to be joined shortly by, and I know I might be saying his name wrong, but I hope I'm not, Ryan Kikimsat from Adelphi. He was actually the 2023-24 Swimmer of the Year for the Northeast 10. So he's going to join us quick, talk a little bit about his season, talk a little bit about the championship, what drew him to Adelphi. As you can imagine, when we have 8 heats of the 1,000, we do have some time.
For women's 1,000-yard freestyle, there'll be 4 heats. This is heat 1, Mr. Referee.
So we are finally ready to go here. Heat 1 of the women's 1,000. There are your lane assignments. I think one of the most important things to keep in mind during distance events is stick to your race plan. A lot of times you'll see a distance event where a swimmer will go out really fast, and that puts sometimes some pressure on a lot of the other swimmers. Do I stick with my plan? Do I go out fast as well? Am I going to have enough to bring it home? So each of these swimmers has trained countless hours for the culmination of their season and this 1,000-yard freestyle. A lot of different strategies in terms of, even when you think about kicking, you'll see a lot of swimmers, they'll be on their legs for most of the race. Some will float their legs for a majority of the race and just pull. Some will use their legs a little in the front half, then save it for the back half. Paulina Pereira from Pace out in front right now, leading the way, followed by Ann Panus. So both of our Pace swimmers out in front early. Lily Bluen from St. Michael's also looking good right now in lane number 4. Also at the beginning of a race like the 1,000, it's almost like a feeling out process. Everybody's looking to see, all right, how quickly did this one get out? What's the person to my right doing? What's the person to my left doing? Am I executing my race plan the way that I talked about with my coach? Am I executing the race plan like I've practiced it? So all of those things very important here. As we've hit the 200-yard mark, it remains Paulina Pereira from Pace leading the way. 13:00:14 is her entry time. 32 swimmers on the women's side suiting up for this 1,000. And right now it is Pereira. Went out in a 31:10. Followed that up with a 34:50, 35:81, 36:34, 36:93. So she's gradually slowed down a little bit as we've built into the 250-yard mark. Lily Bluen from St. Michael's in lane 4 has moved into second. Ann Panus from Pace drops down into third. But right now it's all Pauline Pereira. This was an event over the past few years completely owned by Emma Hapkowitz from Bentley. Hapkowitz was the swimmer of the year in the conference the past 2 years. And she has graduated and moved on. So I bet you a lot of these distance swimmers were saying, oh, goodness, maybe I have a chance now that Emma is gone. She was really an unbelievable distance swimmer, 500, 1650. Approaching the 400-yard mark, Paulina Pereira leads the way. We will get into a little discussion, probably in heat number 3, around Felician. Would like to give them a little bit of the spotlight on the broadcast, being their first year participating. They have a great story to tell. But it is Pereira from Pace out and leading the way and looking very strong doing it. Pereira settling in, 38 highs, 38 lows as we approach the 500-yard mark. The halfway point of this heat 1 of 4 on the women's side. Timed finals for these 1,000-yard heats. Tonight, you'll see your number 1 overall seed on the women's side, Taylor White, in the final heat. Lily Bluen and Panus from Pace. Stroke for stroke in that second and third place spot, but right now it remains Paula Pereira, and you see Bluen and Panus right there. They're going right to left. Approaching 600. Pereira has settled into those 39 low splits. 38-9, 39-1, 39-0, 39-3. That last one a 39-2. Again, if you're just joining us, we're live at the WPI Sports and Rec Center for the 2025 Northeast 10 Swimming and Diving Championships. You're watching on NE10 now on Flow Sports, brought to you by Brew Media Productions. Pereira 650 yards in. Continuing to hold tight with those 39 splits. Good split right there for Katrina Serlin from the College of Staten Island. So keep an eye on lane 7. Serlin goes from 4th place, moves up into 2nd. So we're going to be joined here by Ryan. Go on this side, Ryan. Kim set. I'm going to get him set up. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're joined by Ryan Kakamseat, the senior from Adelphi. Ryan, can you hear me okay? Oh, well, I can't hear you. All right, what do we got going on here, folks? Bear with us. Sophomore. Okay, give me 1 second, folks. Give me a test, Ryan.
Hello.
Here we go. So we're joined by Ryan Kakamseet from Adelphi, the sophomore, swimmer of the year last year in 2000. And how do you follow that up, Ryan?
Just try to do what I've always been doing, trying my best in practice, and then hopefully, it all goes well in the big meet.
So as a freshman last year, swimmer of the year, a lot of pressure. How is your 2024-25 season gone?
It's been going well. Obviously, the training's been very tough, a lot tougher than our season before. We brought in a lot of quick freshmen as well, which helps, racing these guys every day, multiple times a day. It really helps. So while we're racing really tired, it feels good.
Paulina Pereira from Pace continues to lead the way. She'll come in here for the 850-yard mark, holding those 39 splits. She's gone 39.6, 40.1, 39.4, 39.69. So, Ryan, talk a little bit about how you got into swimming. Like, when did you start swimming? Where are you from? Let's get into the background.
Cool. So I'm from Kazakhstan. That's where I was born. And I started swimming because my mother, she was scared I would drown as a kid, which I feel like it's a very reasonable fear to have for a mother. So she put me into lessons when I was like 1, but I only really started competitively swimming, meaning joining a team or a club, when I was 12, so quite late.
So when did you come over to the United States?
So I was 4 years old when we came over to the U.S., and then when I was 13, we moved to Thailand, where I spent 5 years, and then came back for 2021, I believe.
Wow, that's quite the story. So you've seen a lot. You've definitely seen a lot, and your Adelphi team, on the men's side, undefeated dual meet season.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about that as we watch Paulina Pereira get the bell. 50 yards to go for Pereira. Talk about the undefeated season this season.
It feels great. We took it one meet at a time. It's hard having these dual meets every week while trying to balance the training out. But for us, obviously, it's just one piece of the puzzle. We're really happy about it, but there's more work to be done.
And, you talk about a dual meet season, and it can be tiring, right? I mean, you can go a couple weeks in a row with multiple swim, maybe a meet on Friday, a meet on Saturday, follow that up with the next week. We'll hold that thought for 1 second while we watch Paulina Pereira finish up here in lane 6 from Pace. She'll go at 12:38.18. So great swim for Pereira there. A 22-second time drop. Pace goes 1 and 2 here in heat number 1. That's Ann Panus taking second, and Katarina Serlin taking third. So long season, very tiring. One of the, I know I hear swimmers talk, how do you manage your nutrition? How do you manage your rest? How do you manage those things during the season when you're also got a real, I'm sure, heavy course load to balance and, keep that grades where you need them to be?
Right. So I'll admit, I haven't always been the best at balancing the nutrition and the sleep and all the recovery stuff. But definitely this year, it's been a lot more different. Trying to be in bed by 9, be asleep by 10 for the morning practices. Also, just getting the work done as early as you can. A lot of our swimmers procrastinate, which I wouldn't recommend. But that's kind of the way you kind of balance it and get the best outcome.
So what drew you to Adelphi? I'm sure coming out of where did you go to high school?
I spent my senior year in high school in Manhattan, and then my 3 years before that in Thailand. Yeah.
So how did you land on Adelphi? What drew you to the program there at Adelphi, and what was that moment where you said, this is where I want to be?
Really the coach. I think if you ask anybody on our team, their answer would be the same. Mark Dannon's been a crucial motivator for all of us. When I first took my recruiting trip there, I really saw him. Should I keep going? Okay. I just saw the team dynamic, how he is with his swimmers, and it's not really like a swimmer-coach relationship. It's more like a father and a son/daughter relationship, which I really cherish. So that'll be that.
Heat 2 kicking off. Sophia Boyer in lane 3, Jordan Herman in 4, Sophia Wong in 5, Jasmine Johnson in lane 6, Katie Keegan in 7, Lindsay Downer in 8, Maddie Cuniff in lane 9, Morgan Novello in 10. We're joined by Ryan Kakamsit from Adelphi University. He was the 2023-24 Swimmer of the Year. So, Ryan, talk to me about what you got on track for this weekend. What are your individual events? What are your relay swims?
So lucky for me, I didn't have to swim today. I don't have any individual swims tomorrow, but we have 2 relays in the evening. I'll be doing the 2 freestyle and the 4 medley relay. My individuals start on Saturday. It's a busy Saturday. We have the 1 fly and the 1 back, and then I'll end it off with the 200 backstroke as well.
So would you consider yourself a backstroker?
Yes.
Primarily fly second? What's your favorite event?
The 50 backstroke. If there was an event, I love the 50.
A sprint backstroke.
Yes, for sure.
And I'm sure, why don't you talk about some of your goals while you're here at Adelphi? I mean, I'm sure getting to NCAAs,
yes,
probably at the top of the list, being the first Adelphi men's team to win a conference championship, that would also be on the list. You're going to hope to do that this weekend. Talk about the individual. Swimming's a very individual sport, although there is a huge team component to it. So talk about balancing those individual goals that you have while also keeping up with the team goals.
Right. So obviously swimming is an individual sport, and you kind of have to prioritize yourself at times, which is some of the reasons why I love not having to swim on the Thursdays and Fridays. I can really cheer for my team. And honestly, if you were to ask me whether I'd prefer to go to NCAAs or have our team win an NE10 title, I'd say having our team win the NE10 title. Because, these guys and girls you train with day in and day out, so you want all of them to succeed. As much as you want yourself to reach those goals and stuff, it's right there with you.
I always say that having 2 daughters that swim myself, swimming and swimmers in general, some of the more mentally toughest athletes on the planet. Because when you think about it, you're staring at a black line at the bottom of the pool for a good portion of your week. So how do you get through that monotony? When you have those days when you 5 a.m. practice, 6 a.m. When you wake up at 4:15, and it's a December morning and it's freezing, and you got to go to the pool, and you're not really feeling it. How do you push through those times to do what you need to do?
Obviously, team component helps. So like having your roommate be there, be up, and when they can't wake up, you're the one trying to get them out of bed. But also just thinking about what other guys from other teams are doing. Right. Obviously, as much as we respect the whole NE10, we want to outwork our competitors, right? So that's kind of a driving motivational factor. And when you're feeling tired, good, be tired. There's not much you can do about it. What makes you great is what you can do when you don't want to do it.
And I'm sure there's a lot of prospective college swimmers listening to the broadcast here. In closing, what would you give for advice for those, soon-to-be seniors or seniors who haven't made the decision on where they're going to go to college? What would be the biggest thing that you can say if you would go back in time, what you would do to prepare yourself differently for college?
That's a good question. The last thing I'd probably say, and hopefully it would stick with some of the upcoming seniors or juniors, is to really pick a program that you love and be selfish. There are times where you want to be with a team that's great, right? But sometimes it just isn't a fit. And so being selfish and really prioritizing yourself and just do it until you love the sport, right? The sport's very giving, but it takes a lot as well. So just keep doing everything that makes you happy. Happiness is the priority.
I'm going to get your name right one of these times. Kakamsit.
Yes.
Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was Ryan Kakamsit, sophomore from Adelphi. He will be swimming, starting his program up on Saturday, the reigning 2023-24 Northeast 10 Swimmer of the Year. Ryan, it was a pleasure meeting you. Wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
And we'll be looking out for you on Saturday and Sunday. Thank you. Good luck to you, my friend. Thanks, Ryan. So that was Ryan Kakamseet from Adelphi joining us. Again, if anyone is listening, we would love to have more swimmers come on the broadcast so you can get to know them. It's always easier if they come up during the distance events. So, we have the 500 here this weekend, the 1,000, the 1,650. Katie Keegan from Bentley leading the way right now in lane 7 over her teammate Sophia Wong in lane 5. So those are your top 2 swimmers right there. Currently, Lindsay Downer in 3rd, Jordan Herman in 4th, Jasmine Johnson in 5th, Maddie Cuniff in 6th, and Morgan Novello in 7th. As Keegan comes in officially at the halfway mark, 5:42.51. Keegan a little bit faster, setting the pace a little bit faster than our Heat 1. Pretty consistent in the 34 highs, 35 lows. I believe we will have another Adelphi swimmer. We're scheduled to have Cooper Rivers Sunday afternoon. So that should be exciting as well. And again, I don't want anyone to think, well, they're just having Adelphi swimmers on the broadcast. I know the Northeast 10 did put it out there to all of the coaches, a sign-up sheet if they wanted to send, each team wanted to send either a coach or a swimmer up to the broadcast for a quick little interview. We love putting the spotlight on all of these great member institutions here in the Northeast 10. It's not too late, so if you're interested, if you're a swimmer and you didn't know about this, talk to your coach. If you're maybe a parent and maybe you didn't know about this, talk to your swimmer to mention it to their coach. There is a sign-up sheet. And we'd be glad to have them on the broadcast as we continue to watch Katie Keegan in lane 7, swimming from right to left right now, approaching the 650-yard mark, leading the way over her Bentley teammate, Sophia Wong. Keegan in 7, Wong in lane 5. Keegan, the sophomore, Wong, the senior. So looking to close out her career with a good showing here in the 1,000 freestyle, which she's doing just that right now. Hasn't been much of a change. We've had the same order of swimmers. Let's go back and see when we had a change. It hasn't been since the 150-yard mark. So talk about consistency here all the way around. Keegan leading the way, Wong in 2nd, Lindsay Downer from Adelphi in 3rd. So Bentley, Adelphi. We also mentioned off the top of the broadcast, every year, the Northeast 10 does a pre-championship poll. And on the men's side, it was Adelphi. 35 points, 5 first-place votes. Southern Connecticut, Bentley tied for 2nd. On the women's side, it was Southern Connecticut and Bentley. Of course, we just talked to Ryan Kakamseet about Adelphi's undefeated men's dual meet season. This would be the first conference championship for Adelphi. As a matter of fact, in the Northeast 10 Conference, only 2 teams have won the Northeast 10 Swimming and Diving Championships on the men's and women's side. For the men, the only winners have ever been Southern Connecticut and Bentley. And on the women's side, it's only been Southern Connecticut and Assumption. So we talked a lot at the top of the broadcast on the reign of dominance that Southern Connecticut has had both on the men's and women's side. 16 titles, 4 for Bentley on the men's side, 4 for Assumption on the women's. Will we see history this weekend? Time will tell. Keegan continues to lead the way, followed by Sophia Wong and Jordan Herman. Lindsay Downer in 4th. But Keegan continues. And one of the interesting things about her splits, she's actually gotten faster in the back half here. 34.73, that was one of her fastest splits since the beginning of the race. She hasn't gone that fast since the 150-yard mark. So Katie Keegan, the sophomore from Bentley, she'll get the bell here, 50 yards to go. Keegan continues to look exceptionally strong. Her teammate Sophia Wong from Bentley in lane 5 is in 2nd. It's very tough in these distance events to get everyone on the screen. Swimmers are on both sides of the pool right now. Jonah Carter doing a great job, but there she is, our Heat 2 presumptive winner here, Katie Keegan from Bentley. Getting it done in an 11:29.46. So Keegan with a 23-second time drop. Wong takes 2nd with a 24-second time drop. Next to finish, actually 3rd, was Jordan Herman from Southern Connecticut. Downer takes 4th. Next to finish will be Jasmine Johnson from from Assumption. That AU really messed me up there. And looking to finish up now will be Maddie Cuniff from Assumption, swimming up at the top of your screen in lane number 9. But it was Katie Keegan, 11:29.64. She is your winner in lane 7 of heat number 2 as we move on to our 3rd heat. There are your lane assignments for heat number 3. As the swimmers from heat 2 will climb out of the pool.
Freestyle, Mr. Referee.
Matt Leprino, the voice of the Northeast 10, has been handling the PA on these championships for a number of years, brings a lot of energy and enthusiasm to all the announcements, gets the fans fired up in the building as we move in to the start of Heat 3. Martina Bugala in lane 3 from Felician. In lane 4 from Bentley, it's Kara Schwacke. In lane 5 from St. Michael's, it's Shay Callahan. In lane 6 from Southern Connecticut, it's Sierra Ducharme. In lane 7 from Southern Connecticut, Natalie Ware. Lane 8 from Bentley, Grace Motisi. In lane 9, also from Bentley, Claudia Walker. And in lane 10 from Adelphi, it is Lainey Knoll. So we talked a lot about the Felician Golden Falcons joining the Northeast 10 Conference this year. Women participating in this conference championship. The men will join last year. A little bit of a biography on the Felician Golden Falcons after successfully launching their women's program only in the 2022-23 season. They're entering their 3rd year of NCAA competition. They are extremely excited to be joining the Northeast 10 Conference. It's really a significant step forward for the Felician program, as they'll now be competing against some of the most talented and competitive Division II programs in the region. Their team is a very interesting team, diverse group of international and domestic students. Diversity is one of their greatest strengths. And they really just want to make sure they bring it in every individual and relay race. So, we have a Southern Connecticut swimmer. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're joined by Kobe Dominguez from Southern Connecticut State. Kobe, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too.
Why don't you tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
So I'm a senior captain on Southern Connecticut. I mainly swim breaststroke and IM.
So, senior,
yeah.
This is your 4th year swimming for Southern Connecticut as we continue to watch your teammate, Sierra Ducharme, leading the way here. Talk a little bit about, Kobe, how you got into swimming.
So my dad actually swam for Southern back in the day, and he's been a swim coach for a while now, so he kind of pushed me towards swimming and pushed both my little sisters into swimming too. So my younger sister Callie's on the team, and then my younger sister Lexi will be joining us next year.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So you swam on the club level or YMCA?
Yeah, I swam on the club level.
Was your dad your coach?
For a little bit, yeah.
So talk about that, because I hear a lot of mixed things from swimmers about parents as their coaches just because of the dynamics involved with swimming. What was the experience like for you having your dad as your coach for a short period of time?
I mean, it was great. He's definitely more analytical than you could say like any other coach. He pays a lot more attention, especially since it's your kids, you know. But yeah, it was very exciting. I love swimming for him.
And where are you originally from?
I'm from West Hartford, Connecticut.
West Hartford. And talk about the recruiting process through high school. What drew you to Southern Connecticut State?
So it was a little weird because it was obviously during COVID. So my dad and Coach CJ Moran are pretty close. My dad gave CJ his tour at Southern once CJ went. So it's kind of just meant to be. I visited the campus, and one of my friends from high school was on the team at the time, and it just felt like a perfect fit.
So if you remember, what was that moment? Because, you know, having gone through the same with my daughter, who's a college swimmer, and a lot of her friends, what was that moment that you said to yourself, this is it? I mean, of course you have the legacy with your dad.
Yeah,
so
of course, yeah.
The scales were a little tipped toward SCSU from the start. But what was that moment that really cemented it in your head?
I mean, I saw my friend from high school swimming for them, and he just told me how great the team was, how close they were. And I saw that right on the visit, obviously. And ever since, it's just been an unbreakable bond between all of us on the team.
Talk about your season this year. How did you do? How do you feel coming into conference championships right here? Obviously, with SCSU having won 16 times, you know, the expectation is always very high. We just went over on the broadcast. Those coaches think Adelphi could get it done this year.
Yeah.
So talk about the season that you've had, not only individually, but as a team, and then what you're looking forward to here in these championships.
So it's great. Last year I started swimming breaststroke, so it was a little new to me at conference last year, but this year I've trained a lot more breaststroke, and I feel very confident in it. And our team has just been fired up for this meet. We obviously don't taper for any meet in season, so we kind of just go at this meet, and that's what we work towards.
So you're grinding all season, and finally you get that taper in.
Yeah.
All right, so some fun questions here to kind of close us out. When Kobe's not in the pool, what are you most likely to be doing?
Probably homework.
Oh, come on,
Yeah,
Kobe. Let's say it's the summertime.
Summertime. You can always find me like working by a pool. I also coach a club team. And then probably just working out.
All right, favorite non-swimming sport?
Probably basketball. I was named after Kobe Bryant.
Pretty awesome. Favorite basketball team? Is it the Lakers?
Obviously, Lakers.
It's the Lakers.
Yeah.
So what do you think about this Luka Doncic trade?
I'm a fan of it. I'm a fan, but we don't have a big right now, so I'm a little scared.
Favorite food?
I have to go with a steak.
Little steak and potatoes?
Yeah, steak and potatoes. Exactly that.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kobe Dominguez from Southern Connecticut State University. Kobe, thanks for taking the time to join us. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
So we are back in action with the women's 1,000 here. Again, that was Kobe Dominguez from Southern Connecticut State University who joined us on the broadcast for a little bit. Sierra Ducharme from Southern Connecticut State continues to lead the way here. But she is in an absolute battle with her teammate, Natalie Weir. So take a look at the middle of the pool, lanes 6 and 7, as they speed towards the 675-yard mark. Ducharme in lane 6, Weir in lane 7. And this must be a pretty cool and familiar setting for these two. Teammates, probably training partners, always swimming against each other. And here they are, literally stroke for stroke, as they come in for the 700-yard turn. They're separated by 18 100ths of a second. Always nice to hear from swimmers. We talked about that earlier. We had Kobe Dominguez just joining us. He was preceded by Ryan Kakamseat from Adelphi. And right now, it's Natalie Weir from Southern Connecticut, our first real lead change. She is snuck ahead, of Sierra Ducharme in lane 6. So Weir opening up a 0.6 of a second lead. And I say that like it's a big lead, but it really is at this point. If you've watched this race, Ducharme and Weir have been right there, stroke for stroke with each other. Closing in on the 800 mark, 200 yards to go. You'll notice Ducharme has the stronger kick, but it is Weir leading the way as she gets that lead back. Ducharme in 6, Weir in 7. Natalie Weir, the senior. Sierra Ducharme, the freshman. So we got the future of the program battling against the current day version of the program. And right now, it's Natalie Weir in lane 7, the senior leading the way. And as you can see, with 150 yards to go, that lead is almost a full body length. We'll see if Ducharme has one more push. But right now, with a little over 50 yards to go, it is Natalie Weir. Weir came in the 11 seed. And she's starting to put a little bit of distance and time between herself and Ducharme. It's almost 2 seconds right now with 25 yards to go. Or 75 yards to go. Here's the bell for Natalie Weir in lane 7. I'd say that lead is going to be about 2 seconds, 2.38 seconds. Natalie Weir over her teammate, Sierra Ducharme. The senior saying, not so fast, Sierra. I still got this, as she speeds toward the flags in the wall lane. Heat 3 will belong to Natalie Weir from Southern Connecticut. Came in with an 11:20. She's going to shatter that time. 10:47.80. Ducharme goes a 10:50.95. So 2 great swims there as they embrace in a big hug. Natalie Weir, Sierra Ducharme go 1 and 2. It is Grace Motisi from Bentley taking 3rd. So all of our finishers have had best times so far, and that's what you want to see. As Kobe talked about, they haven't tapered for one regular season meet. You taper for the championship. You want to have your best performance at the conference championships, and that's what we're seeing here. We're seeing best times almost across the board for every swimmer in that heat. But it is Natalie Weir, your Heat 3 winner. We'll move to our championship heat right now of the women's 1,000. Here is your start list.
Now let's welcome to the blocks, Heat 4, women's 1,000-yard freestyle. And swimming in Heat 4 this evening, lane 3 from Southern Connecticut, Lindsay McCauley. Lane 4 for Assumption University, Emma Cates. Lane 5 for Felician, Rachel Amayuri. Lane 6 for Bentley University, Taylor White. Lane 7 for Southern Connecticut, Jasmine Eurechio. Lane 8 for Felician, Selma Nuino Gallen. Lane 9 for St. Michael's College, Madeline Walt. And in lane 10 for Southern Connecticut, Paula Castillo. Heat 4, women's 1,000-yard freestyle, Mr. Referee.
Castillo, all smiles here in lane number 10. Here we go, our top seed overall, Taylor White, 10:49.39. She's in lane 6 from Bentley. And right behind her, and swimming in lane 7, our number 2 seed, Jasmine Eurechio, clocking in at a 10:50.55. So a very crowded field of talented distance swimmers here. Taylor White looking to take home the crown. Again, last year it was Emma Hapkowitz. She was a graduating senior. Has been atop the conference in most of the distance events for the last few years. Eurechio off to that fast start. She was the fastest in the field through the first 50, 27.97. Paula Castillo, her teammate in lane 10, right there with her. They're separated by 9/100ths early. It's all Owls at the top. Eurechio, Castillo, and McCauley currently our top 3. White, our number 1 seed. Eurechio, our number 2 seed. McCauley is our number 8 seed. Again, this is our championship heat of the women's 1,000-yard freestyle. We're live at the WPI Sports and Rec Center for the 2025 Northeast 10 Men and Women Swimming and Diving Championships. You're watching on NE10 now on Flow Sports, brought to you by Abreu Media Productions. And our Owls remain our top 3 as we speed toward the 200-yard mark. Our number 1 seed from Bentley, Taylor White, not very far behind. As a matter of fact, she sits in 4th, but only a second behind the the trio of Eurykio, McCauley, and Castillo. So White strategically probably right where she wants to be right now. Eurykio remains our leader. No change at the top with McCauley in second. White moves up to third, bumps Castillo down to fourth. Eurykio holding a 30.9 there. The fastest in the field as she gets that lead a little over a second over McCauley. Even faster split there by Eurykio, 30.86. Taylor White now moves up into second. So White started off this race in 5th place at the 100, 4th place at the 150, 3rd place through 250, and now at the 300-yard mark, Taylor White has moved within a little over a second and a half of Jasmine Eurykio. Lindsay McCauley currently in 3rd. Paula Castillo in 4th. Jasmine Eurykio continues to lead the way, followed by Taylor White, a second and a quarter. So Taylor White right there, staying within striking distance. The other duo from Southern Connecticut also right within striking distance. Lindsay McCauley in lane 3. Paula Castillo in lane 10 at the top of your screen. They're all vying for second, but right now it's Eurykio and Taylor White. And slowly but surely, folks, you can start to see Taylor White beginning to make her move here at the halfway mark. She's cut into that lead. That lead by Eurykio is down to 0.6 of a second. And in the middle of the pool, they have pulled almost dead even. Paula Castillo with some outside smoke also in the second half here is pulled into the lead ever so slightly. So our top 3 swimmers here separated by 0.2 of a second. It looks like right now it's Castillo, White, and Eurykio. Castillo, the junior. White, also a junior. Eurykio as well. Castillo with that lead over White by a half a second right now. Eurykio remains in 3rd. Closing in on the 650-yard mark here in the championship heat of the women's 1,000 freestyle. Castillo, White, and McCauley, a big change here. Eurykio has dropped down into 4th. Castillo, White, McCauley, 1, 2, and 3 right now. And you can see Castillo continuing to power at the top of your screen. One thing she's got going on where I notice a big difference over White is the use of her legs right now. Castillo really, really good on her legs. White doing almost a little bit of a flutter kick at this point. Again, it's all part of the strategy. It is Castillo, though, in lane 10. I'd say the disadvantage for her at this point is it's really difficult from that lane assignment to know where you stand. Lindsay McCauley, her teammate, who's currently in third, less than a second behind her, is all the way in lane 3. Castillo is breathing to the right, so it gives her the opportunity to look across the pool when she's heading out, but when she's coming back, like she's doing now, predominantly breathing to the right, a little bit to the left here, but it remains Castillo, your leader, at the 800-yard mark. McCauley has moved into second, so Lindsay McCauley now passes Taylor White. White drops down into third, McCauley second. They're all chasing Paula Castillo. Castillo in 10, McCauley in 2. Outside smoke on both ends of the pool as we approach the 850-yard mark. 150 to go. It remains Castillo and McCauley almost in a virtual tie, separated by 11/100ths of a second. McCauley now looks like she's moved into the lead in lane 3. Lindsay McCauley at the bottom of your screen. The senior from Southern Connecticut. 50 yards to go, and it is McCauley who now moves into first. McCauley and Castillo battling, trying to go 1 and 2 here. Taylor White trying to get into that third place spot, maybe overtake Castillo here. But as they come down the stretch, it is Lindsay McCauley, the senior from Southern Connecticut State, in lane 3. She will be your women's 1,000 leader with 50 to go. McCauley in 3, Castillo in 10. Here comes Taylor White. She's going to try and overtake Castillo. I don't think anyone is going to catch McCauley here. What a great back half of this 1,000 by Lindsay McCauley. And she is your 1,000 champ, 10:25.72. The Owls go 1 and 2 with Castillo taking second, and it is White from Bentley taking third. So really from the 850-yard mark, Lindsay McCauley was absolute nails. 31.3, 31.5, 31.4. She finishes with a 30.45. The next to finish will be lane 8. That's Salma Nuino Galen. 11:03.23. She's followed by Madeline Walt. And it will be Emma Cates here from Assumption. But what a performance by Lindsay McCauley. She is your women's 1,000 champion. We are going to be joined momentarily by Madison Capria from Bentley University. There are your full results there. Yurikio Omururi, Nino Galen, Walt, and Cates round out your top 8.
We now move to event 5, the men's 1,000-yard freestyle. There'll be 4 heats. This is Heat 1. Mr. Referee.
Cody Villanueva swimming in lane 5, John Capp in 6, James Curran in 7. As I mentioned, we're going to be joined by Madison Capria here. I think Madison's a little nervous, but I don't know. We'll see. Madison, can you hear me? Oh, nope, we're muted. Nope. Let's try it now. Madison, are you with us?
Oh, I was muted, but I think I'm good.
I said you were nervous because did I hear you say that when you came up here initially? Like, oh, I'm nervous?
Yeah. You're a little bit intimidating.
Oh, come on, Madison. This is great. So listen, for the listening audience, why don't you tell everyone a little bit about yourself, your background, where you're from, all that good stuff.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Madison. I'm a senior at Bentley. I am from Queens, New York.
And how did you end up at Bentley with all of the colleges and universities in New York? How'd you end up at Bentley?
Oh, my goodness. I'm going to sound like a walking ad.
Yes, that's what your school wants. Let's hear it.
It is like the best business school ever. And have you met MK?
I have not. Wait, MK, your coach?
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
She's awesome.
Yes,
Yeah, so
absolutely.
I was pretty much sold.
So talk about how you got into swimming. How long have you been swimming for? What really got you into swimming? Did you play multiple sports in high school? Like, talk to me about all that good stuff.
I started swimming in high school. I originally played basketball, and I am 5'4", so there was no shot for me to make it anywhere past high school. So I transitioned.
So you started in high school swimming.
Yes.
Wow, that's interesting because usually swimming is a sport. A lot of, especially collegiate swimmers, you'll talk to them and they'll be swimming competitively since like the age of 5, 6, 7 years old. So you made that transition from basketball to swimming. How hard of a transition was that?
Well, it was a little hard realizing that I wasn't going to grow much, but I don't know. It was fun. Not too hard, I guess.
And talk about your season so far. So how has your season been both from an individual perspective and from a team perspective as you head into WPI here and the NE10 championships?
Individually speaking, I think I let loose more because I'm a senior, so I'm just like, I'm going to have fun and not care too much about the time. For the team, I think everyone just genuinely like loves each other and supports each other, so everyone's been pretty good this year. More positive atmosphere.
We talk about swimmers and how they are maybe some of the more mentally tough athletes around, right? When you think about it, you're spending hours upon hours staring at a black line at the bottom of the pool. When you have those tough days, when you have those morning practices at 5 a.m. and you just it's December, it's January 3rd and it's pitch black out and it's 4:30 in the morning and you don't feel like really getting out of bed and go to the pool. What drives you? How do you get the motivation to get up, go to the pool, and really put in an effort to perform your best?
My teammates, because we're all in it together. We're all best friends. I hope.
So talk to me about that. Your teammates, best friends, are these all girls that you met when you got to Bentley, or anyone from your high school area or that you knew before Bentley? Talk a little bit about that.
No, these are just people I met at Bentley, thankfully. No one from Queens, unfortunately.
So all girls that you met from Bentley. And
yes. Thank you, MK.
And how many schools were in consideration for you coming out of high school?
Like 4 or 5.
Okay, and what was the moment where you really said, that's it, it's Bentley? They're like, Mom, Dad, I made up my decision. This is where I'm going. There's no doubt about it.
Well, when I went to visit, the team was very welcoming. This is a little weird, but I went to the weight room to watch the team lift, and there were these 2 sophomores rolling around on the floor, and they were having a lot of fun, and I was just like, these might be my people. And yeah, they were. And then I was there.
And they ended up being your people.
And they did.
So talk about Madison Capria's plan for May and beyond? What do you want to do? You're obviously Bentley, great business school. What are you looking to do when you graduate from Bentley?
So I'm an accounting major, and I'm going to be interning at Deloitte this summer in New York City, and then hopefully going back to Bentley for grad school. So I'll be back in Boston.
So you'll be back around.
Yeah, they can't get rid of me yet.
So when Madison is not in the pool, you're most likely to find her where?
In the dining hall. I'm not going to lie, I'm there all the time.
So in the dining. All right, so we'll stay on that theme. Favorite food?
New York pizza.
Favorite guilty pleasure?
Chocolate chip cookies. Or ice cream.
Favorite movie?
That's a hard one. Oh, that's an easy one. Elf. Duh. Elf. Will Ferrell's the funniest person alive.
One of my favorite movies, especially in December, I cannot go through the TV channel guide. And if Elf's on, I'm right on it.
Oh, you have to watch it.
It's one of the best movies around by far. We talked about food. We talked about movies. So besides the dining hall, it's it's the summertime. It's July. It's July 6th. It's a weekday. Where am I going to find Madison? You beach?
Oh, I'm at the beach. Yeah.
Pool or beach?
Beach, all the way.
Are you a lifeguard at the beach?
Yes.
So what beach do you lifeguard at?
For the town of Southampton.
Southampton. Okay. And do you have so my daughter is a swimmer as well, a lifeguard at a beach in Rhode Island, Narragansett Beach. And they have these things called guard games.
Yeah, the lifeguard competitions.
So you do the same thing there. So talk a little bit about that. Like, what do you do for those? How fun is that? What is your training? I know you're a senior now, so your training is going to be different. But in the summertime, the past 4 years, what did your training look like?
Well, for lifeguarding, we would just have long workouts before and during work, just to stay in shape and do lifeguard training for specific lifeguard games.
Yep.
I even went to nationals this summer in Texas. Yeah.
Lifeguarding nationals.
It sounds very silly,
That's
but
big
they
time.
exist. Yeah. I was in South Padre, Texas.
That South Padre Island. That's a big spring break destination.
I never been until it was 98 degrees and yeah.
Yeah,
it's hot.
That's a pretty crazy time. So, piece of advice for high school swimmers right now that are going through the process, trying to figure out their school. What is the best piece of advice that you can give them?
Oh, that's a hard one. Pick the school where you can best see yourself. Like the people honestly do make the place. So if you're at a school and you don't really think that they're your group, then maybe don't go there. And also go there for the education. Swimming's 4 years. Your career is forever. So I know I'm at a swim meet, but go for the education.
It's true. The
better the school.
The advice that I always give is you want to go to a school where whatever sport you played, let's say you stopped playing that sport, you would still want to go to that school. You still would want to go to that school. You'd still want to hang out with those people. And the last question, so in hindsight, what would you have done differently coming out of high school, going into college to prepare yourself? Like looking back, what's one thing if you could do over that you would do over?
Probably wish to get to college faster. Because as a senior, I kind of want to go back in time and relive it all. So I wish I appreciated every single moment instead of just wishing to go ahead.
So live in the moment, appreciate the moment as it is, right? Because, listen, after college, it's out into the real
downhill?
world. It's a little downhill, Madison.
All right, I'm excited.
Madison, I turned 49 last week.
Happy
last
birthday.
weekend. Thank
Happy
you.
belated.
But yes, it's just downhill. So enjoy it.
All right.
Enjoy it.
Something to look forward to.
Enjoy it while you can. Ladies and gentlemen, Madison Capria from Bentley. Madison, talk about your events quick. What are you swimming this weekend?
I'm swimming the 500 freestyle, the 2 free, and the 1 free.
Okay, so you seem to be like a distance swim. Well, 500. How come no 1,000?
Oh, I haven't crossed that bridge yet, and I'm not going
It
to.
doesn't. I don't.
Yeah, I don't think I'm ever. I don't want to.
If you haven't crossed that bridge by now, your senior year in the conference championships,
Yeah.
you're probably not going to get there.
Yeah.
Madison, I wish you the best of luck. Ladies and gentlemen, Madison Caprier from Bentley, thank you.
Thank you.
So back in live action here, James Curran from Staten Island leading the way, 850 yards in. He's followed by John Cap, his teammate, separated by 12 seconds right now. We'll see if Cap can make up some of that distance over the final 150 yards. Currently in third place right now, Cody Villanueva from Pace. So James Curran from the College of Staten Island at the 900-yard mark. He's built up a 14-second lead over his teammate John Cap. We are in heat 1 of 4 of the men's 1,000 freestyle here at WPI. You're watching NE10 now on Flow Sports, brought to you by Brew Media Productions. It's the 2025 NE10 Men's and Women's Swimming and Diving Championships. There's the bell for Curran. 10:41.08. He came in with an 11:54.87. So Curran will be our Heat 1 winner. (11:10.37). So a whopping 44-second time drop. Great job by Curran. Cap will be the second to finish. Great production work here by Nicole Miller as well. Switching cameras, taking graphics on, off the screen, not easy to do in the moment. Cap takes second with an 11:29.62. Should be noted, both Staten Island swimmers with best times there. Curran and Cap. Villanueva comes in with a 12:42.04. He's still got a little over 75. He'll be coming in for the 950 mark here. Let's see if Villanueva can come back here in, and he should be able to come back in less than a 42. So all three swimmers should drop time and record best times here. We're going to be joined next by Jenna Swist from Assumption. She'll be joining us for a couple minutes right at the beginning of our next heat, which will be heat number 2, the men's 1,000, as we watch Cody Villanueva from Pace finish up here. And how about that for Cody? He's going to have a best time by almost 8 full seconds, 12:34.77. So Curran, Cap, Villanueva. There's James Curran getting out of the pool from the College of Staten Island. There are your full results as we head into heat number 2. There is your start list. You'll find Justin Rivers in lane 4, Connor Singer in lane 5, Brady Hale in lane 6. It will be Nate Alexander in lane 7, Luke Emmanuel Paragas in lane 8, Patrick Purcell in lane 9. You know, these interviews are always great, but it's always a little awkward too, because right now I'm interviewing people who I really haven't even been introduced to, but I know I'm joined right here by Jenna Swist from Assumption. Jenna, thank you for taking the time.
Thank you.
How are you?
Pretty good.
Are you nervous?
Yes.
Oh,
always.
Jenna, don't be nervous. Let's keep this and get this right down there. Okay. So, Jenna, talk to us a little bit about your swimming journey. How did you get started with swimming?
I started swimming when I was around 7, and it really was the sport that stuck with me throughout my whole life. And just the people who I was surrounded by really impacted like my journey of swimming, and my coaches and teammates, they really made the difference in the world. So swimming was always something that was very important to me since I was very young. And I don't know really like where I would be without having the support of my teammates and the guidance of my coaches and mentors.
So you said you started when you were 7 or 8?
Yes,
Which,
competitively.
which is typical of most swimmers. It's funny, we just talked to Madison Capria from Bentley, and she started swimming in high school, which is kind of rare for a college swimmer to start that late. It's just a testament to her work. Talk to me about pre-swimming. Did you try other sports, and swimming is just the one that stuck, or how did you end up on that at a young 7 or 8 years old?
I did try many other sports, but swimming, I like to be the best that I can be in whatever I'm doing. And swimming was always the one where I always went back to it, and I always tried my hardest, and I don't know, it was really just the one where I felt most comfortable in as well. So I can relate to a lot of other swimmers because they are so motivated in everything they do. And the motivation of swimming and doing my best is what kept me going, or what kept me continuing with swimming.
Jenna, where are you from?
I'm from Connecticut.
Okay. So talk about, you started 7 or 8. You're on the club YMCA, which
I was on a private club.
Okay, so you were in club USA Swimming. You go through high school. Talk about your process in which you ended up at Assumption. How did you end up at Assumption?
So when I was first looking at colleges, it was actually during COVID. So it was hard to come in and see the schools, see the pools. But when I was first recruited, I was recruited under Doc. And he was the one who he kept reaching out to me, and he made sure that I was comfortable coming in, even without even barely seeing the pool. And he made sure that I got in contact with swimmers who were on the team at the time, made sure that I was comfortable throughout the whole process, and he really just kept in communication with me the most. So Doc was always there for me, and I decided to go with him.
So what was the moment? I'm sure you visited other schools too. You checked out other schools.
Yes.
So what was the moment that it really cemented itself in your head, Assumption's it? There's mom, dad, it's Assumption.
I love being close to home because I looked at schools that were out of state even farther. So what really dragged me to Assumption was kind of the team and how close they appeared. And I come from a very small club team as well. So having that closeness and having the connection was really important for me. And that is what I would say did it.
So talk about outside of the pool, what's your favorite thing about Assumption, and what's your major?
My major is psychology, and I have a minor in human services and rehabilitation and a concentration in occupational therapy.
So that's a lot.
Yeah.
So I could imagine what your course load must be like. So what are you looking to do post Assumption, and what's your favorite thing about Assumption from a non-swimming perspective?
Yes. After Assumption, I'm going to graduate school for occupational therapy at MCPHS in Worcester. And my favorite thing outside of swim at Assumption, I would say, would be my roommates, because we always go out and find something to do. They have a lot of activities on campus, and they're always hosting or doing something that gets all of the students involved. There's many clubs, and I would say just Worcester, the city of Worcester in general, there's so many things to do here. So going out with my roommates is one of my most favorite things.
We're talking to Jenna Swist from Assumption. Jenna, did you already tell me this? You're a senior.
Yes.
Yes. Senior Jenna Swist. While we're at the 500 mark in Heat 2 of 4 of the men's 1,000, Connor Singer from Adelphi leading the way, followed by his teammate, Luke Emmanuel Paragas. Right now, Brady Hale, who is Jenna's teammate from Assumption, currently in third. Worcester not really underrated at this point. I was going to say slept on, but city as far as restaurants and food and good things. So here's how we'll end it with a few fun questions. So when Jenna is not in the pool, where will I find Jenna?
You will probably find me either at a good restaurant or honestly the library studying, which is always a good thing. Me and my roommates are big into sports outside of swim, inside of swim and outside of swim. So we love going to other teams' games and matches and meets. So I would say probably something athletic or academic.
What show are you watching on Netflix or your streaming partner of choice?
My mom actually suggested watching Younger, and it's pretty funny. I like it.
Favorite restaurant in Worcester?
I would have to say Scruffy Murphy's. It's a small pub.
Okay.
Irish pub.
Tell me more.
They have great deals. They have good servings for a good price. My favorite meal there is definitely a lobster roll anytime. And great place, too. It's always packed in there.
My favorite place, the Flying Rhino.
Oh,
Have you ever been?
Nope.
Shrewsbury Street.
Okay.
Great place. Favorite guilty pleasure food?
I would have to say something sweet. Probably like brownies or... My favorite thing right now is the brownie batter donut from Dunkin' Donuts.
You and my 13-year-old daughter, she loves that as well.
Yes.
So, and then the last thing, I guess, in the summertime, what do you do? Are you a lifeguard?
I am.
Okay, where are you a lifeguard?
I lifeguard at my local YMCA, and also I lifeguard at an outdoor pool it's like a apartment-style pool, and I lifeguard outdoors there.
And what do you got going on this weekend here at the championships? What events are you swimming? Did you already swim in a relay?
I swam in the relay
yeah,
tonight.
I thought I saw you in the relay.
Yes.
What do you, from an individual perspective, what do you got going on?
I have the 50 free tomorrow, the 2 free on Saturday, and then the 1 free on Sunday.
Well, we wish you the best of luck. We appreciate you taking the time to join us here. See, that wasn't that bad.
No.
It's fun. It's a good time.
Yes.
That Madison came up here, too. She was like, oh, I'm nervous. You're intimidating. I'm like, come on. I like to have a good time as well.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jenna Swiss, senior from Assumption. We'll be seeing her this weekend. Jenna, thank you for the time.
Thank you very much.
Connor Singer continues to lead with 200 yards to go. Luke Emmanuel Paragus at Delphi looking to go 1 and 2 here. Always nice to talk to these student athletes to hear how they got into swim, how they chose their schools, just to have a little bit of fun, get them some exposure. It's amazing how many of them are nervous. Like, I'm just a friendly guy, Nicole. But that was good. So Madison Capria, Jenna Swiss, we had Kobe Dominguez, Ryan Kakamseat. We appreciate all of you taking the time to join us, and we wish you the best of luck here at these NE10 championships this weekend as Connor Singer continues to hold on to that lead in lane 5 from Adelphi, and that lead is 14 seconds. So Singer looking very strong here in heat number 2. There's the bell for Singer. .25 yards to go for Connor Singer, the junior from Adelphi. He came in with an 11:04.71. He's going to drop almost a minute. What a performance by Connor Singer from Adelphi. 10:08.70. We'll go back to him. We'll get that shot at him once everyone else finishes up here. Tight race for second, and it's going to be Paragus out-touching Hale. So Adelphi does go 1 and 2. Hale from Assumption takes third. It will be Alexander from St. Michael's taking fourth. Next to finish will be a battle between Patrick Purcell and Justin Rivers. Opposite ends of the pool. Rivers in 4, Purcell in 9. Right now, I don't know. I think it's going to be Justin Rivers. Will he get in there first? And no, it's Purcell with the touch. There's our winner, Connor Singer from Adelphi, 10:08.70.
Time 10:08.70. This is now Heat 3 at the blocks. Thank you, gentlemen. And again, this is now Heat 3 at the blocks, our men's 1,000-yard freestyle. Mr. Referee.
Heat 3 lined up and ready to go. Top time coming into Heat 3 is Aiden Kennedy from Southern Connecticut State, 10:23.34. You'll find him in lane 6. Our penultimate heat here on night 1 of the 2025 NE10 Men's and Women's Swimming and Diving Championships. Swimming here in heat number 3 in lane 3 from Bentley, it's Stephen Calabro. In lane 4, also from Bentley, it's Joey Toomey. In lanes 5 and 6, both from Southern Connecticut, James Custer and the aforementioned Aiden Kennedy. In lane 7 from St. Michael's, it's Calvin Baird. In lane 8 from Bentley, it's CJ Eaton. In lane 9 from Southern Connecticut State, it's Nicholas Zerva. And rounding out the field in lane 10 from Bentley, it is Kai West. Aiden Kennedy leading the way right now. We just saw Connor Singer in our previous heat. Aiden Kennedy continues to lead the way early. He went out in a 25.68, followed that up 29.1. Right now, though, Joey Toomey moves into an almost virtual tie with Kennedy. Very early on, swimmers have not really spread out yet. We'll see that as the race continues to move on. Just a little future planning. Tomorrow morning, we'll be back on the air at 10:15 for the start of day 2, which will feature the 500 freestyle, the 2 IM, and the 50 free. Just a reminder, diving does run concurrently with swim in the morning prelim sessions. We will be broadcasting diving finals in the evening sessions. Aiden Kennedy from Southern Connecticut State University leads the way. He's clawed that lead back away from Joey Toomey. Put a little distance, 0.8 of a second. Kennedy in 6, Toomey in lane 4. Good stroke rate here. Good distance per stroke as well from Kennedy from Southern Connecticut. And he's pretty quick in and out of those turns as well. He's extended that lead over Toomey to almost 3 seconds. Kai West, lane 10, holding tough in 3rd. So Bentley right now occupying 2nd and 3rd. Although Nick Zerva right there, as is James Custer from Southern. Aiden Kennedy, though, continues to build that lead up. 3:54.93, goes a 30.03 there, the fastest in the field. Enables him to build that lead a little over 4 seconds. We mentioned this on the top of the broadcast, but we will have the Northeast 10 Commissioner Julie Rupert on the broadcast on Sunday morning. So over these past couple years, it's been a little tradition to get the State of the Union from Julie for the Northeast 10. Always enjoy her insight and commentary on all things Northeast 10, all things swimming. As Aiden Kennedy really starting to stretch it out here. He has built that lead up to almost 7 seconds over Custer, who now moves into second. Toomey drops down into third. No change anywhere else. So Kennedy, your leader in lane 6. Custer in second in lane 5. Toomey in third in lane 4. So all the action, all the leaders, lanes 4, 5, and 6. But it has been all Aiden Kennedy as we are now into the back half of this second to last race of our opening night of the Northeast 10 Swimming and Diving Championships. You're watching NE10 now on Flow Sports. Brought to you by Brew Media Productions. Alongside Nicole Miller on production, Jonah Carter on camera, I am Jeremy Abreu. We will be bringing you all of the action here this weekend from WPI as Aiden Kennedy stretches that lead out to almost 8 seconds over James Custer. Kennedy continues to lead over Custer. The lead now over 9 seconds. $31.15, the last split for Kennedy. A little off his blistering pace of holding those 29 high, 30 lows, but still the fastest in the field in every 50. And what that's really doing is enabling him to build that lead up close to double digits. 9 seconds now over Stephen Calabro from Bentley. So Calabro goes from third to second. Custer goes from second to third. No change anywhere else. But it is Aiden Kennedy. 8 minutes, 200 yards to go for Kennedy. Almost 225 for the field. Calabro in second, Custer third. No change at the top. And once again, a pretty consistent, strong kick from Kennedy. Now, he's not on his legs 100%, but he is definitely working his legs, not just pulling. Kennedy has a good underwater on those turns. Good streamline. Gets some decent distance, gives his body a little bit of a break before he breaks out. 75 yards to go for Aiden Kennedy, the junior from Southern Connecticut State, as he's looking to be your Heat 3 winner. Looks pretty solid right now. There is the bell for Kennedy, 50 yards to go, 9:33.75. Stephen Calabro from Bentley is second. And with 25 yards to go, it looks like Aiden Kennedy, the junior from Southern Connecticut State, will be your Heat 3 winner. Came in 10:23. He's going to drop 21 seconds. Aiden Kennedy, your Heat 3 winner. 10:02.98. Stephen Calabro from Bentley will take second. Nicholas Zerva from Southern Connecticut takes third, so the Owls go 1 and 3. Zerva drops almost 30 seconds, and again, PR times for every swimmer in the heat. That's what you want to see at a championship meet. Congratulations to all the swimmers, but it is Aiden Kennedy, your Heat 3 winner, in a time of 10:02.98. Now we'll shift our attention to our results, and then our championship heat, our final event of the evening.
And now let's welcome to the blocks the final heat of our evening. Heat 4, men's 1,000-yard freestyle. And swimming in Heat 4 this evening, in lane 3 for Southern Connecticut, Richie Hall. Lane 4 for Adelphi University, Tyler Thompson. Lane 5 for Bentley University, Andrew Machuca. Lane 6 for St. Michael's College, Lucas Haynes. Lane 7 for Bentley University, Leighton Wolgozinski. Lane 8 for Southern Connecticut, Samir Sweetie. Lane 9 for Adelphi University, Gus Upchurch. And in lane 10 for Southern Connecticut, Lucas Quiroga. This is Heat 4, men's 1,000-yard freestyle. Mr. Referee.
Here's our top seed, Lucas Haynes, in lane 6 from St. Michael's. He's a freshman. Only swimmer to come in sub 9:50, 9:45.69. He should get a battle here from Leighton Wilgozinski from Bentley. He comes in our number 2 seed. Andrew Machuca, our 4 seed, and Samir Sweetie, our 5th seed. So our championship heat, our final heat of the evening tonight. This should be a good one. Hayes is out fast, 25-44. It's followed by Will Gazinski and Sweetie. So we will see a little bit of separation once we get going here. However, this championship heat here on the men's side should be really exciting and a good way to close out our evening. The meet record for the men's 1,000 was set in 2019, 9:32.18 by Daniel Sosto from Bentley. Hayes 9:45.69, Will Gazinski 9:55.34. They're the only two under 10 minutes. Hayes in lane 6, Will Gazinski in lane 7. No surprise, they are your two leaders. Richie Hall from Southern Connecticut in the mix there right now in third place in lane 3. But Will Gazinski and Hayes separated by 3/100ths of a second. And I suspect that as we continue each 50, Hayes and Will Gazinski will separate themselves a little bit from the field. Gus Upchurch from Adelphi, holding tough in lane 9, currently in 4th, but right now it's Will Gazinski who moves into the lead. Quarter of the way through this men's 1,000. This is the championship final. Hayes in 6, Will Gazinski in 7, and it is Leighton Will Gazinski currently leading the way. Will Gazinski, a junior, Hayes a freshman. Or 5th year. Read that one wrong. FY there. Leighton Will Gazinski. 28.7 that last 50. We'll keep an eye on this one. 28.99. But again, he outsplits Haynes, and he's got that lead up to 0.8 of a second. So Hayes and Will Gazinski proving that seeding is right on track. They are your top two here, but right now it is the number 2 seed, Leighton Will Gazinski, leading the way over Hayes. Fun fact about Leighton, he is on the Bentley triathlete team, and he had the honor of competing at the Triathlon World Championships this past October. So that's pretty cool. In our last meet last weekend, we had a member of the USA ice swimming team, and now we have a Triathlon World Championships competitor in Will Gazinski, who really now starts to open that lead up. If you just go back 150 yards, Will Gazinski and Hayes were only 0.3 of a second apart. Right now, almost 2.5 and counting. We'll see where they check in here at the halfway mark. And that lead is 3 seconds, and it's not over Haynes. It's over Gus Upchurch from Adelphi in lane 9. The freshman has moved up into second place. So keep an eye on that battle between Upchurch and Lucas Hayes. Upchurch, our 7th seed, making some serious noise right now here in the championship heat of the 1,000 on the back half. Almost a full second or a full body length on Hayes. And I'll tell you what, he's slowly starting to creep up on Will Gazinski. That lead is a little over 2.5 seconds. Upchurch went a 28.9, a half a second faster than Will Gazinski. We'll see where he stands here. Again, he cuts 0.4 of a second off. That lead is just over 2 seconds, folks. So keep an eye on lane number 9. That's Gus Upchurch. This has been all Leighton Will Gazinski up to this point, but Upchurch really starting to pick his spot and make a move here. A 29.1 versus a 30.1 for Will Gazinski puts Upchurch behind by 1 second. So Will Gazinski in 7, Gus Upchurch in lane 9. And here comes Upchurch as they approach the 700-yard mark. Gus Upchurch really, really coming on strong in this back half here. He's cut that lead, folks, to 0.2 of a second. So Gus Upchurch from Adelphi really putting some serious pressure on the number 2 seed, Leighton Will Gazinski here, as they approach the 750-yard mark. And it may be, you may have a new leader here at the 750-yard mark. We'll see. Will Gazinski and Upchurch stroke for stroke, and it is. You see how much tighter and quicker his turn was right there. Upchurch now moves into first, 0.4 of a second ahead of Will Gazinski. So what a good swim here by Gus Upchurch, the 7 seed, and the freshman from Adelphi. Been a big contributor to leading them to an undefeated dual meet season this year. And Upchurch now is trying to push that lead up to almost 1.5 seconds. Just over 150 yards to go. Gus Upchurch in 9, Leighton Will Gazinski in 7. They are 1 and 2 here. Upchurch extends that lead to 2.36 seconds. So if Will Gazinski has any gas left in the tank to make a push, he needs to do it now. Fatigue likely starting to set in for all these swimmers. Will Gazinski turns getting a little slower on that wall as Upchurch whips his legs around and has built up a 2.25 second lead. I'll tell you what is really helping Upchurch to those turns. He is in and out of that wall very fast. There's the bell for Upchurch. Will the number 7 seed win the 1,000? 50 yards to go. He leads the number 2 seed, Leighton Will Gazinski, by almost 3 full seconds. Upchurch gets to the wall, 25 to go. He's urged on by his Adelphi teammates. Here comes Will Gazinski. Does he have one final push in him? Gus Upchurch at the flags, into the wall, and it will be Upchurch, your 1,000 winner. 9:38.97. So Gus Upchurch, the number 7 seed, shocks the swimming world here at the NE10 with the win in the 1,000. Will Gazinski takes second. Richie Hall takes third. And what a swim there by Upchurch. Really turned it on around the 750-yard mark, and there was no turning back. What a way to end our evening here at WPI. Gus Upchurch, your men's 1,000 winner in a best time of 9:38.97. And folks, that is a wrap on day one of the 2025 Northeast 10 Men's and Women's Swimming and Diving Championships. There are your full results. And with that, we will be signing off for the evening. You've been watching NE10 Now on Flow Sports, brought to you by Abreu Media Productions for the last time. On behalf of and alongside Nicole Miller, Jonah Carter, I am Jeremy Abreu. We'll be back tomorrow morning for day 2 at 10:15. We hope you enjoyed our coverage and have a great evening.